The International Maritime Organization, or IMO, is a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for improving maritime safety, security, and for preventing pollution from ships. It also deals with international aspects of civil liability and compensation and facilitates maritime traffic. The IMO not only develops new conventions, but also ensures that the existing agreements are still effective. It has promoted around 40 conventions and protocols and adopted over 800 codes and recommendations. The International Labour Organization, ILO, is a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for setting international labor standards. ILO influences the marine industry in two major areas, namely manning and occupational health. ILO had adopted over 160 conventions, out of which more than 30 are maritime conventions. Today, IMO and ILO have a joint working group which ensures that ILO's concerns about labor standards and welfare are addressed in all instruments developed by the IMO. In order to achieve the objectives of IMO and ILO, member countries develop and promote the adoption of conventions, codes, recommendations, and guidelines. These instruments provide the means to address the concerns of the member states. The flag state of a ship is the country where it is registered and whose merchant marine flag it is entitled to fly. A member state, as flag state, enforces the provisions of IMO and ILO conventions on the ships registered under its flag. National legislation can be in the form of a Merchant Shipping Act or a Transport Act. A flag state can set penalties for infringements. When an infringement occurs in international waters, the responsibility for imposing a penalty rests on the flag state. Port states are empowered to inspect visiting foreign flagged ships. United Kingdom, as a flag state, exercises its authority over ships flying its flag in matters regarding safety, security, pollution, administration, as well as technical and labor matters. The Parliament enacts primary legislation. They are then enforced by the Department of the Environment, Transport, and Regions, DETR, through its executive agencies, namely the Maritime Coast Guard Agency, MCA, and the Marine Accident Investigation Branch, MAIB. The company is the ship owner or manager who is responsible for the day-to-day operations of the ship. The ISM code lists the mandatory responsibilities of the company. The company should ensure that the office and ship complies with the requirements of its safety management system. It should also ensure that the ships are manned by a competent crew and that the crew has a safe and healthy onboard working environment. Further, the company should ensure that the ship neither poses a threat to the safety of those on board or around, nor to the environment. The ship staff headed by the master should comply with all relevant international and flag state legislation. They are expected to show due diligence at all times to maintain the seaworthiness, safety, and security of the ship. The charterer should only employ ships that comply with all relevant international and flag state legislation. They play a vital role in weeding out substandard ships. For example, oil majors employ ships only after a thorough vetting, which at times can be more stringent than the flag state rules. The ship is inspected by port states, classification societies, insurers, and other interested parties. These inspectors are equipped to study the ship's maintenance and operation and to determine its condition. Port states may detain a ship for non-compliance with international laws. Classification societies may withdraw the certificate of class if their rules are not complied with. Insurers may withdraw or deny coverage for an unseaworthy ship.